how I achieved a big goal with just 30 minutes a day. Most people think achieving a big goal requires massive effort, huge breakthroughs, long hours, perfect motivation. They think success happens because someone suddenly worked harder than everyone else, or even worse, got lucky. But the truth is, the biggest achievements in life rarely happen that way. More often, they come from something much smaller. Small actions, repeated consistently, day after day, week after week, and over time, those small actions start to compound until eventually they produce something that once felt impossible. This is the story of how one simple habit, just 30 minutes a day, turned into my first published book. And more importantly, why this same principle can help anyone achieve goals that currently feel overwhelming. The problem with big goals. Most people don't fail at goals because they lack talent. They fail because the goal feels too big. Think about some of the goals people set: write a book, start a business, lose 30 pounds, build a successful career, become a better leader. All of these goals sound great, but when you start thinking about everything required to achieve them, they quickly start to feel overwhelming. Writing a book means hundreds of pages. Starting a business means months or years of work. Losing weight means thousands of healthy choices. So what happens? Most people wait. They wait until they feel motivated. They wait until they have more time. They wait until the moment feels perfect. But that moment almost never arrives, and the goal stays exactly where it started. As an idea, the mission. Before any goal works, you need something deeper than motivation. You need a mission. For me, the mission was simple: share information that helps people improve their lives. I've always believed that the right idea at the right time can completely change someone's direction. One conversation, one insight, one realization. Sometimes that's all it takes to shift the way someone thinks about their future. But having a mission is one thing. Turning that mission into something real is something completely different. So the question became, what goal could bring that mission to life? The answer eventually became clear: write a book about goal achievement, and more importantly, a system that helps people actually follow through on their goals. Use myself as a guinea pig and see if I could focus on a small win that would lead to a big gain. The goal. At first, the goal sounded simple: write a book. But the moment you actually think about what that requires, it suddenly becomes intimidating. A book isn't a short project. It's hundreds of pages, thousands of words, months of writing, planning, editing, rewriting, self-publishing. And this is where most people get stuck. The goal feels so big that they never take the first step, because when the mountain looks too large, people hesitate to start climbing. So instead of focusing on finishing the book, I decided to focus on something much smaller: the habit. The real commitment became this: write or research for 30 minutes every single day. That's it. No pressure to write chapters, no expectation of perfection. Just show up for 30 minutes. Some days the ideas flowed easily. The writing felt smooth. The words came quickly. Other days it was slower. Some days the work felt frustrating. Some days progress felt almost invisible. But the rule never changed: show up, do the work, trust the process, because consistency compounds. 30 minutes doesn't sound like much, but what matters isn't the size of the action. What matters is the consistency of the action. The compounding effect. At first, progress is almost invisible. 30 minutes doesn't feel like a big step forward. It feels small, almost insignificant. But something powerful begins to happen when small actions are repeated consistently. Those small sessions begin to stack together. 30 minutes becomes hours. Hours become chapters. Chapters become a manuscript, and eventually, the goal that once felt overwhelming begins to take shape. This is the power of compounding effort. The same principle that applies to investing money also applies to investing effort. Small deposits, made consistently, create results over time. And something else begins to happen when you show up daily: momentum. When you work on something every day, you stop restarting. You stop wasting time trying to remember where you left off. Progress becomes continuous, and continuous progress builds confidence. Why habits beat motivation. Most people rely on motivation. motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel energized, most days you don't. And if progress depends on motivation, progress will always be inconsistent. Habits solve that problem. Habits remove the need for motivation. They create structure, they create routine, they turn progress into something automatic. When writing for 30 minutes became a habit, the decision was already made and there was no debate, no waiting for inspiration, just execution. And over time, that habit slowly built something much bigger. The result. After months of showing up, day after day, the pages began to add up. Ideas became clearer. The structure of the book came together. I saved time in the long run because everything was fresh in my mind, and I didn't have to waste time figuring out where to restart. And eventually, those small daily writing sessions produced a finished manuscript. A book that started as a simple idea became small wins equals big gains, not because of massive bursts of effort, but because of consistent action. The lesson. This is where most people misunderstand goal achievement. They believe success requires extraordinary effort, but more often, success requires extraordinary consistency. Big goals become achievable when they are broken down into small daily habits. Habits remove the pressure of perfection. They replace overwhelm with progress, and progress builds momentum. Because in the end, success rarely comes from one massive breakthrough. It comes from small actions, repeated consistently, stacked together over time. And when you stay consistent with the right system, small wins eventually lead to big gains.